What's up, guys? So I just did a, literally about 1 hour ago, just did a Q&A on Instagram. So I'm just going to go through a few of these questions here. Hope you guys enjoy it. So first one here is, are you going to be at the CPU Nationals? So I think that's in February, the 2nd or 3rd week of February, in Calgary or something like that. But no, I'm not going to be there. However, my friend Josh will be there, so go say hello to him. Okay, do you even beard? It looks like my beard is out of control right now, which it is. But now that I'm not working in the office, I can pretty much do what I want with it, so I'm just going to let that grow out for a bit longer. Okay. How drug-free is the IPF, and what do you make of the Russian Olympics ban? Well, how drug-free is the IPF? Well, at the world level, it's reasonably low. It looks like generally most people are passing their tests. Looks like there's probably 1 to 2 positives out of maybe like sort of 8 competitions internationally. So it's reasonably low from what I see. And I think the Russian Olympic ban, it's a pretty big step as far as making the sport drug-free, especially because I suppose, I don't know the real ins and outs of it, but there was obviously a big scheme going on there with some amateur athletes in Russia, and they really wanted to make a stand for it and try and make some progress to really try and get rid of some of the corruption that's going on behind the scenes. So I think it's a good thing, but it's definitely a bad thing for some of those athletes who were actually giving it their all and actually natural athletes, so that does suck. Okay. So will you ever release a strength program? I don't plan on doing that anytime soon, for free anyway. I'm an online coach myself. I've just started a new business with Josh, so that's our primary source of income. So I've got to pay the bills, so I wouldn't be releasing anything for free. And I've always been like the guy that likes to personalise things, so I don't just like putting stuff out there and telling people to do it, because we're really to make sure that we're achieving, well, going to meet those goals that people are setting out to achieve. Okay, so what's your favourite PR meal? I definitely want to say chicken wings, cheesecake, and a nice beer or a cold can of Coke. Okay. So do you think Johnny Candito was really injured, or did he just fail to clean up the system? Why is he going for the untested deadlift all-time record? Did he fail to clean up his system? Is he on drugs? No way. Would he be? That's just stupid. Why is he going for the all-time untested deadlift record? Because that's his strongest lift and he wants to, I guess, get some sort of achievement in powerlifting. What are your thoughts on John Hack's impressive performance at USAPL World Nationals last month? So for those of you who don't know John Hack is, he's a junior lifter. I think he's still a junior in 2016. He totaled 787.5 kilos in the same weight class as me, so 83 kg class. He pulled a 320 kg deadlift, so I mean, you've got to take my hat off to him. You know, that's an awesome performance by a junior, and he's going to be someone that's going head to head with myself in 2016. Will you compete outside of the IPF in the future? No, not a chance. Okay. Why do you lift? Well, I mean, I've been lifting since 2006, 2007, so it's always been a part of my routine. Mentally, it's something I need to really do these days. Makes me just be calm, feel good about myself. I couldn't imagine my life without actually just being in the gym in general. Okay. So do you follow a specific diet or a specific macronutrient ratio? So no, I don't. I have gone through phases where I have counted macronutrients before, and I didn't really like that so much. I probably would do it with higher calories and stay a bit heavier, but at that time I was staying down at 83 kgs, so I just didn't feel optimal. So there's always a chance I'll give it a go again. So what do you do before starting squats and deadlifts, so warm up / mobility wise? I use a lot of bands pretty much to get mobile, to get things moving. So I'm going to actually make a separate video today. I'm going to do it for the squat, bench press and deadlift, so that'll just be a video that I'll put out in the next few days anyway. Why do England suck at rugby? Because they're English, probably. Okay. do you ever train sumo? So haven't trained sumo for quite some time now, and I probably won't train it again anytime soon. I need to really work on getting my better external rotation through my hips if I'm going to actually train sumo, because if I was to do it with my hip mobility the way it is, I'm just going to injure myself, so it just wouldn't make sense. Okay. So what was your total when you started powerlifting, and how much did it go up along the years? So my first powerlifting competition, I had 185 kg squat, 130ish kg bench, and a 215 kg deadlift. So compare that to now. So that was 2008. This is 2015. So my lifts now 285 kg squat, a 205 kg bench, and a 310 kg deadlift. So you work out the math. That's how it sort of got to there. Will you try to improve your sumo in the near future? So again, when my hips are a bit better, a bit more mobile, I could work on sumo and try to get it better. But I mean, I can still pull 300 kgs, no problem. I can't seem to keep my arms straight during deadlifts. I keep using my biceps. How can I fix this? By finding the source of the problem, why your arms are constantly flexed. So that could just be pulling through your bicep tendon. It could even be up in the shoulder insertion point. So work on that. Go see a physio is what I actually recommend. Okay. So let's say you peaked for a competition. The week of competition, do you still train, like practice set singles at 80% or so? So most definitely. So just for instance, my last competition, did my last heavy single. It was probably about 10 or so days out, and then about 4 or 5 days out, I was doing like sets of, so just singles, like 6 sets of one at like 220 kgs, and I'm a 280 kg squatter, so that's roughly 80%. Okay, so why did you decide to move to Canada? Okay, so for those of you that don't know, I moved to Canada, in particular St. John's in Newfoundland. The reason I've moved here is because Josh is my new business partner. Okay, so we're setting up an online coaching business which we're launching very, very soon. By the time you see this video, the website's probably going to be live, which we're very excited about. So we wanted to be together, obviously, just to make sure things are working well to start off with. So we know how each person is going to go day to day about actually working with the clients. And it's something I've always wanted to do. But really the reason I haven't done it sooner is because of my powerlifting. So now that I've got them both mixed, so powerlifting and work, it's going to work very, very well. So very excited about it. Okay, and there was a couple of questions there on like how easy was the move, getting it set up and like getting your visa approved and things. It was all done online. You've got to go through and get a few documents, you know, a police check, make sure to clean file, upload your passport, all that sort of stuff gets done online. And you simply go to the border when you arrive and they issue with the visa. So it's all very, very straightforward. If any of you are considering doing it, just go to just type in Canadian Immigration Services or something, and you'll be able to go through it. Okay, what do you think is your best lift, bench, dead or squat, and has that naturally always been your best? So I think right now it's so hard to say which one's the best. So I mean, I've got a world record on the squat, bench, I'm close on the deadlift, and I've got a world record total, and none of them really stand out. None of them are actually great lifts. But I'd say, in comparison to what I see everyone else doing, I'd probably have to say it's either the squat or the bench. So either one of those. Injury history, that's a good one. So injury, the worst injury I had and it sounds worse than it probably was a partial pec tear, a partial bicep tear and a partial tricep tear, caused basically from lack of external rotation through my shoulder. So I was getting winging through my shoulder blade. That was the worst injury I had. I just had to have 6 weeks off of bench pressing. I've had a couple of leg injuries just through the quad, and that was actually this year, but that wasn't anything too bad. It didn't stop me from working out, that's for sure. I was still able to squat at maximal load, but just probably with not as much power. Will you shave the beard when it freezes on your face in the winter? Well, I've never lived in a place where it's that cold, it's actually going to freeze. But I'm hoping not. I'm hoping it's actually going to keep me warm as opposed to colder. So. Have you ever used knee wraps in competition or even training? So my background in actually powerlifting is actually equipped. So basically when I first started, well, it's actually my first year of equipped competition was 2011. So obviously I was using suits and knee wraps. So yes, I have used knee wraps in competition and in training. Just occasionally I would wear them by themselves, but generally I was in a suit as well. So I actually hold the junior world record equipped squat, which is 355.5 kgs, but I don't actually use knee wraps at all anymore for my training. Okay, so Owen Hubbard said, how do I get my bench slash deadlift slash bed to be like yours? Well, your bench is already better than mine. It's just a matter of time before you go to the next competition. Your deadlift does need some work, but I mean, you've got to really concentrate on your bracing, your breathing, and your bed. Have you actually tried to grow a beard before? Keep shaving it, combing it, and I'm sure it'll produce a good quality beard. Okay. What popular powerlifting programs have you used in the past, and which ones have helped you the most? Okay, so I've never been really one to go on the internet, go free programming, let's find a program, punch my number in, and go from there. I've used Shaco once or twice, maybe. I've done like half a cycle on them, and really did not like it at all. It was basically the wrist extension that was getting me the worst. So I'll go squat, then I'll go bench, then I'll go squat again, and I was getting a lot of pain through my wrist. So I pretty much just stopped using Shaco altogether. I've always used some sort of linear progression or RPE type training. That's been the most effective, and I've never really had anyone program me. I've always really done it myself. I've only had one mate help me out before. Okay. So how were you introduced into powerlifting? So basically the way I was introduced into powerlifting was I was training at the gym already because of an injury. I broke my arm twice, and I had a good bench press. That's all I trained. I didn't know about squats or deadlift. And the guy at the gym, the owner of the gym, Bevan McKenzie at Y-Weight in Masterton, he noticed I had a good bench press, and he said, look, we've got a guy here that benches 220 kgs. Why don't you go and train with him? So started training with him, and things just slowly took off. They introduced me to the other two lifts, and it's just taken off from there. Okay, when you compete, do you focus on overall performance, meaning leave a little in the tank and aim for 9 for 9 meet, or would you rather PR on a single lift, or all three if you wish? Only asking because watching your last couple looked like you had more in the tank. Okay, so good question there, I guess. Obviously I want to perform well. I've had a few 9 for 9 meets now, a couple of recent ones. And it's the best feeling ever when you go 9 for 9. You feel really good, you walk away confident, you walk away feeling like you can actually really progress from that. I love to PR on all three lifts, it's ideal. Make small increments on all three, and over a period of time you've got 3 really solid lifts. I've never been about that, there's always that one guy that like, I'm going to go for the deadlift world record, and on the total 100 kgs less than the total world record. Well, to me I don't care about that at all. Okay. How much can you expect to drop from a water cut? So for me, myself, I'm about 85 to 89 kgs, anywhere between there, depending if I'm going through a heavier or a lighter phase. But you can definitely expect to drop a few kgs, so like say 3 kgs at the most, for myself anyway. Have you ever considered doing YouTube full time? What's your optimal frequency for squats and how do you program it? So I was touch base on that, so no, I've never considered doing it full time. I've always liked to go about my work in a different way, and I don't really see YouTube as a full time source of income anyway. Although it is something I like to do outside of work. What's your optimal frequency? So squatting anywhere from 2 to 3 times a week seems to work pretty well for me. So I'm the sort of guy that likes volume. So if you look at a phase of a program, we've got the 3 principles. So we've got intensity, we've got frequency, and we've got volume. And I always like to have volume in my program. That's my number one, I guess, tool that I like to use is make sure I get my volume in. So that means I can't train with too much weight on the bar. So if I train, say, 2 to 3 times a week, get the volume in, I'm getting good recovery still. That's my favourite. And how do you program it? I might just make sure that obviously one day is a heavier day, and that sees progression. If I have a lighter day, make sure that's behind. So I'm still getting a lot of recovery, so I'm running behind. I mean, obviously less weight than my heavy day, and then add some sort of secondary movement, which you have a different type of goal. It may not be a 1 RM goal you're building towards, but maybe it's like a 5 rep PA you're building towards. So like, for me that might be like a high bar or a front squat. And for me it's the front squat I'm doing at the moment. Okay, is 5 Strong still programming you? No, he is not. Ever play rugby? So yeah, I've played rugby before. I've played about 5 or 6 seasons. Was never that great. And pretty much my strength in rugby was defence, so tackling people. They were a lot bigger than me. How was your beard game so ridiculous? So I've been growing this beard now for, I remember I was in Bali, Indonesia, December 31st, 2013. I just said one day, I said, right, 2014 is going to be my year, I'm going to win the World Championships, I'm going to have a massive beard while I do it. So I had a shave that day, December 31st, and decided I was not going to shave again. So it's now the, what is it, the 16th of November, and I don't plan on shaving anytime soon.